What's up, Wargamers? We are back, and we've got another episode here. So today was the 500th Games Workshop / Warhammer store grand opening, and you could have headed down to your local Games Workshop store, not your local friendly game store, because they wouldn't have had these there, but there were some special edition models and other things that they were selling at their stores uniquely today, so we went ahead and picked those up. And I got some other goodies here as well. 2 weeks ago at our Scottsdale store in Arizona, we had the store birthday, so I had purchased some store birthday goodies and was finally able to pick those up today as well. So we'll go ahead and break those down here on the tabletop. I had my very first encounter with one of you guys, one of the subscribers. His name was Jeremy. So go ahead and comment below so people can catch on to you. He stopped me in the Games Workshop store and he said to me, "Hey, I know you." And I thought at first it was going to be a case of mistaken identity, where maybe somebody was mistaking me for handsome Ryan Reynolds lookalike or something like that. But actually, he said, "No, I know you. You're Budget Wargamer. You have a YouTube channel." And I thought, well, yeah, okay, that explains how you know who I am and I don't know who you are. So we spent a good hour or so talking there in the Games Workshop store, checking out his Sisters of Battle, you know, Astra Ministorum type army and stuff like that. So he's got some really cool stuff. I don't think he has a YouTube channel of his own, otherwise I'd give him a plug so you guys can follow him as well. But let's go ahead. I'm going to pause the camera here, get it set up to do some overhead shots, and then we will take a look at the 500th store models as well as the Games Workshop store birthday models and some of the other goodies that came along with that. So stay tuned. Alright, so first up here on the tabletop, we have the Age of Sigmar Nighthaunt Garkorr Bladegheist Revenant. So this is apparently a special version of the Bladegheist Revenant that has his own unique rules in the box, and the only way to pick him up was supposedly today at the 500th Games Workshop / Warhammer store grand opening. So we'll take a look at that. Next up, we have the Space Marine Primaris Lieutenant with Stalker bolt rifle. He's just a regular Space Marine Primaris Lieutenant, so there's no special rules for him in the box. He just happens to be a unique single pose that you could only pick up today. So let's go ahead and break those open. Alright, so let's go ahead and crack the seal here on Garkorr, and let's see how he's packaged. Alright, so inside that box comes a little booklet, and that booklet should have his special rules. Those are Italian. Let's go to English. So feel free to pause the screen there if I can hold still. And this stupid camera has horrible autofocus, so apologize for that. It's going to fall in and out of focus. But yeah, so he's got a 1-inch range attack, 2 attacks, 3+ to hit, 3+ to wound, a rend of -1 and 1 damage, as well as some other special rules. And then he is packaged neatly there inside. And other than the base, so it's not a sculpted base, it is a slotted base, and he is a easy to assemble model. So he's just got little plugs that can go in there, and I guess he's got a tombstone, and he comes in 2 pieces. So nothing super fancy. We'll definitely have to go and snip him up and get him assembled. So we'll set him aside. I'm sure you'll be able to find a bunch of these on eBay. In fact, the store was selling out a lot slower, if you can imagine, of course, of the Age of Sigmar model than it was of the Warhammer 40K model. So a lot more people were buying these Space Marines in multiples, either, you know, maybe one for themselves, one for their friend, or what I suspect is the one for eBay, one for themselves. And I hadn't checked eBay yet to see if these are already going for a premium, but wouldn't surprise me if, just like they did with the Imperial Space Marine when that came out with that disintegrator rifle. So inside the box here, we have an instruction booklet on how to assemble him, as well as just the generic rules for Primaris Lieutenant. He's not a named character, but he also he actually appears to require glue. So unlike the Age of Sigmar model, which is a easy to assemble, he's also going to come with this itsy bitsy teeny weeny Ultramarines Primaris character transfer sheet. So he's got chaplain, apothecary, captain, and stuff. That's cool. So I'll put that here in my transfer pile. Literally have a mass of those. And then he requires glue. So we'll go ahead and we'll get him put together and then take a look at him. But that's what comes inside that box. Nothing fancy. They're each 35 bucks. Here were some other, I hate to call them freebies, but if you purchase both the 40K model and the Age of Sigmar model, you got a special commemorative 500th store celebration pin. So that's like a pewter or some type of metallic pin that they were also bundling in there. That cost no extra. They were giving away a battle plan for Age of Sigmar, as well as Warhammer 40K Mission, Last Stand. These are supposedly unique to the grand opening. Not quite sure why you couldn't just play those anyways, but I guess it makes them official. So we won't spend any time digging into that. And then I'm going to crack the seal off of these postcards. What's really strange, though, is that mine were burnt. So I've had the strangest luck, as I said, with Games Workshop stuff. The shrink wrap was like melted, and then it appears that like a wire cutter or something like that had touched the upper corner from when they were shrink wrapping, possibly. So unfortunately, that one has a little bit of some damage to it. And I wonder, because I'm recognizing a lot of this artwork is stuff I've got up on my wall from the inserts inside of the box, or the boxes, I'm wondering if these are ones that, because some of these are different. So I'm wondering if some of these, like this one comes with Soul Wars. I haven't picked up Soul Wars yet, but there's that one that represents the Soul Wars cover. There is the Kill Team cover. Here's the Dark Imperium cover, and these are like postcard size, I think 4x6, probably something like that. Here's Armiger Helverins, Warglaves, and the Castellan Knight. Here's the Night Vault Shadespire box art, and then here's a type of art from the Aqua Elves, whatever you call Aqua Velvas, whatever you want to call those guys. I forgot the name of them already. Did all kinds of videos on them, but I haven't picked up any of those models yet. Now let's dive into some other cool stuff. So this one's Darrakar, Guardian of Souls. He's a Nighthaunt special character that you supposedly could only pick up at Warhammer store birthdays. So that's the weekend that commemorates each unique store's birthday. So they usually do different giveaways, different celebrations, different special events. So in this case, this was a model that you were able to purchase on that day, but you couldn't pick this one up the day of, so it came in last week, but I was already delaying going into the store because I live like an hour and a half away from the Games Workshop store in Scottsdale, Arizona. And he does not appear to be an easy to assemble, easy build character, so that's interesting that some of these are and some of these aren't. And he's just a normal Guardian of Souls, and then there is his sprue. So let's take him out of there. And interestingly, I just noticed that the Primaris Lieutenant has a 40 mil base, and the 32 mil base comes with the Guardian of Souls. So there's the sprue for that if you guys want to check that out. So those are some of the more recent stuff, and then I've got some really cool art prints. So let me go ahead and break those down. These are some really large, like 12 by 16 art prints that Games Workshop had exclusively when you made some purchases on their store birthday. So I might not be able to fit these completely here, and I want to be careful with them because I'm going to frame them up and put them on my hobby wall. But like here's some Ultramarines and Khorne Berserkers. It's a nice art print. There's 4 of them in total. So this one is an Imperial Warlord Titan, as it appears, with his Knight Scion. I can't fit them all into the camera, so that's a shame. Here's a really cool one of the Lord Celestant, or whatever you call this guy. Never picked up one of these models, but they are definitely cool. So these art prints are like in a matte finish. They're not glossy like posters, even though there appears to be a little bit of glare. And then here are some Khorne Bloodbound. Oh man, I'm doing these no justice. So there you go. You can check those out. There's one of them riding a Juggernaut. And then there's like some cultists and beasts of some sort there. So those are some other cool things that I picked up, but that is what is new. And then I've got some other videos I want to do here of some other stuff I've done, hobby haul and things like that. Plus, give you a quick update. Here's the odd Imperial Armiger character that I'm doing here to represent the Armor of Sainted Ion. He's got a helmet that matches the Armiger Helverin armor, so that came from the Imperial Knight, and then I've got the Siegebreaker cannons in place of the normal Armiger Helverin twin autocannon. So I thought that would make a really cool War Gear edition. Alright, so now that we've had time to get these models glued up and dried up, here is the Space Marine Lieutenant. This is the Primaris Space Marine Lieutenant. What really makes him special is that his helmet comes off in a different way than what we probably realized, and it's sitting there in his hand. So it makes him a little bit different. He's got a bolt pistol, a Stalker bolt rifle, combat knife, auspex, and some trophies and things like that. So that's what he actually looks like, in case you were wondering. Let's take a look at the other models in close up. Now here's Darrakar. He's a Tormentor of Souls, I believe is the type of model he is. Now, even though I thought that this 40mm base came with my Imperial Space Marine Lieutenant, I checked all my other lieutenants and they're all on 32mm bases, so I decided to put this guy on the 40mm. So kind of weird. Like to see in the comments whether your lieutenant came with 32 or 40mm, but this is Darrakar, and I chose to put the axe handle on him instead of the mace, and I chose to do the soul lantern on there as opposed to the hourglass. So there's actually two different options when assembling him. And this guy was the one from the Games Workshop store birthday. So I ordered him 2 weeks ago. Could have picked him up last week, but I waited because of the long trip to a local Games Workshop store. Picked him up today when I went in for the 500th store grand opening celebration. And then last but not least, here's our special character that they released today. So he's got special rules. He's got a scythe. He's got a tomb blade. Very long and skinny. These guys are, this is like one of the most fragile armies. Playing undead, no joke, has just always been a fragile army. Even back in 3rd edition when I had the original plastic skeletons. So, but that is a cool model, and that's what they look like. You know, definitely let me know in the comments below if you picked these guys up. If not, I did look on eBay. There are people already asking triple-digit prices for these models. Shame on them, because in our store there was no limit to how many you could have purchased. I was kind. I purchased one of each, not to be cheap, but really to be kind to the other people, even though there was quite a bit of this guy left when I left the store. But the Space Marines sold out quite fast. So stay tuned to Budget Wargamer. We got more stuff coming out soon.